What's up?
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Good, brother. Hanging in there, man.
Fuck yeah, man.
What's up, gentlemen?
What's going on,
What's up?
Hey, we just got done blasting fucking Crown, man, off the new record, dude. It's fucking badass, man. I love that shit, man.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. It's awesome, man. We love that song. All the songs we're off to that one, it means a lot to us. And hell yeah, man.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. So tell us, man, I know you guys been busy. What's been going on in the world of We All Rise, man?
Well, just promoting the album. Just came out, so just, working on that. And I'm getting ready to hit a tour soon. So, just releasing everything and just getting ready to rock and roll, man.
Hell yeah. Well, for people out there that don't know, can you give us like a brief history rundown? How long you guys been doing this, and how exactly did it get started?
And we were all, we've all been playing music our whole lives, and individually doing stuff and working on different projects in the scene, and we just kind of clicked. We ended up getting together and just getting the music rolling, and it just felt like it was the time to put it out there, and the rest is history.
Yo,
What's up, man?
Joel?
We got another member in the chat.
yeah,
Looks like we got a bass player now.
yes, we do.
All right.
So it's still at work, so let's see how we make it happen.
So we got guitars, we got Vox, we got bass. The only thing we're missing is drums. Am I right?
That's right. The drums are. He says he's always late, so he might just pop in any minute.
Yeah.
You know how drummers are, brother.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, man.
Thanks, man. They're crazy.
So I mean, well, take us back to the beginning. How did this band get formed, and how did you guys start? Like, how did you name the band We All Rise? Where did that come from?
Man, it was the name was it was an uphill battle, man. We really went crazy just looking for names and going nuts with that whole stuff, man. And it was difficult. We went I would say a couple months just throwing names back and forth.
More than 3 or 4 months, though.
Yeah, it was tough, man. It's hard to name a band, that hasn't been used already, or exactly it just hasn't been used. You go online and you start looking, and it was devastating just to find a name. It's something that
it was a band that had like 4 likes. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
exactly.
the thing is, man, you first of all, you got to find a name that suits your vision, right? And what you want the band to stand for, because the name is everything, right? And so it's hard enough to do that just by itself, right? But then once you start finding, coming up with stuff that you really love, the next hardest part is finding a name that another band hasn't used already, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reality of it. So, I mean, this was a tough one for us, man. It was a long uphill battle. It took a long time to find something that fit really who we were and what message we wanted people to see, and again, one that wasn't used. So really, it all came. Jerry, if you wanted to, I mean, it came from that greeting card, right?
Yeah. So same thing. I had a lot going on in my life personally at that point. Just trying to find a name. It was just a lot of stuff going on, and at one point, my wife, you just saw I was just freaking losing my mind, and she found this card. And she gave it to me, and I'm reading through the card. All this, nice stuff, just to build me up. And then one of them, it just said, "If one rises, we all rise." And I just looked at the letters, and I was like, "Hell, man, that's it right there, man." And the way that they wrote it, the letters, the W, the A, and the R stood out, and I was like, "War." I was like, "Fuck, this is great, man. This is perfect right here." So we took it back to the guys, and we kind of looked at it, and it said, it's good. Let's just in case, let's just keep searching a little bit more, But we were like, this is good. This is it. But we were just in case, just keep going a little more. And then Billy gives us the buzz because it's been going on for a couple months at that point, and he's like, "Yeah, man, what's the name of the band? What do we got? We need a name right now. What is it?" And I was like, we had a couple on the board, and it just said, what, man?
I hate it.
Nah, I was like, "Hey, man, how about we all rise, war?" And he looked at it, and he was like, "Yes, that's it, guys. That involves everything you're trying to say, everything you guys are trying to do. I love it.
Yeah,
war, we all rise."
Yeah, for those out there that don't know, we're talking about Billy from the band Biohazard. Mm-hmm. He's our producer, and we consider him kind of the fifth member of the band.
Yeah,
and so everything kind of has been worked with him, and he's been definitely involved in this entire process from the beginning. So,
hell yeah, man!
Oh yeah, man!
Yeah, and one thing, like I love it when you could take a band name and it doubles with the fucking with the abbreviation, because like you said, we all rise, like that sounds cool in its own, it's got its own fucking message, but then when you shorten it down, it's just war, and it looks cool with the fucking logo too, man. So it's like you got a double sword right there, man.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, man! And the shirts are awesome. You get the logo in the front, and we did the war logo on the sleeve. Beautiful thing.
Yeah,
yeah.
And the guy who designed the logo for us, amazing too. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
So tell us how did you get involved with Billy from Biohazard, man?
Shit, that would be on my court. When we were playing with this band called Revolution, which is like the previous incarnation of Will Rise. Billy posted a thing on his page because I was following him already, and I think this was like MySpace. So he posted something on the line that he's looking to produce bands, and I just sent him a demo, and then it started from the end.
Yep, we actually we recorded a previous album with him with S Revolution, but it was. Not to knock the album, it was a great album. We love it. Yeah. Everything was, the logos and stuff.
Yeah, but we did it all independent, all us. And it was, yeah.
Yeah. So, it was a great album. Everything was great, but we built that background. And then we rebuilt, reformed, and got Billy again back in the process.
Yeah.
And, he jumped in head first, and just you're behind the scenes.
Yeah, we have a different vision for what the band had to continue as, especially since Jim joined the band. Now we want it to be all founding members. So,
right.
Hell yeah. Well, so I mean, as far as like your musical influences and stuff, man, what kind of stuff were you guys growing up listening to? What got you into this music in the first place?
Well, one of the things I used to listen to was Biohazard when I was a kid.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up, Joe, because that's exactly it. Like one of the bands. I'm a big '90s guy. That's when I grew up, and that's a lot of the music that that has stuck with me. And Biohazard was always one of those bands that just the drums were cut through in a certain way, the mix was a certain way, and
everything.
What we'll call the gang vocals. I really enjoyed that from Biohazard. And to have him work on this record, that was one of the out of all a million other things that he put into it, but one of his strong suits I really feel is that getting the people to be able to sing along with us. And those chants, those gang vocals, he's the master at that shit. He just finds a way to break it down a certain way and just say, let's do these chants, let's do this stuff. And, him bringing that in was awesome for the songs. He just brought it to a whole other level. Yep.
Yeah, man. Dude, I remember when they fucking played that video for Punishment on Headbangers Ball back in the day, man.
Oh shit!
When it first came out, man, I was like, "What the fuck is this, man?" There's all these fucking dudes, and like everybody's just going fucking nuts and shit. They're like,
yeah, everybody fucking tatted the fuck up.
Hell yeah!
Everybody tatted up, bandana's looking hard as fuck, and I was like, "Oh, this is the shit."
Yeah.
And then the gang vocals, just everybody, that was awesome. It was just, there was so much power behind that, and we just really needed that. That Billy brought, like I said, he brought a whole bunch of stuff to the game for us. But
so at the end
of the day, those powerful vocals.
Yeah, at the end of the day, working with like our idol, somebody that we look up to, it's pretty amazing,
Yeah, when I was like 15 or 16, I went to see Slayer on the Divine Intervention tour, and that's when they had Machine Head opening up, and then Biohazard, and then Slayer. And dude, that shit was insane, man. Like they brought it, man. Like it was everything like what I had imagined from the videos and stuff, from what I'd seen, but that much more, like just the power and everything. It was fucking cool, dude.
The crazy thing is they're still now, even at all these years later, you see them live now, and they still have that same energy, man.
Same energy, man.
It's crazy.
It's 100% insane, man. And I'll be honest with you guys, man. Like, and that energy you guys see on stage, that person that running around and just filling the room, he brings that to the studio.
Yes,
and that's what made this album, like awesome for us, because like that high energy, that's 100% he brings that intensity,
brother. He's a workaholic. We're like 16 hours in the studio, get home because we're all rented a house and which we were all living in for the recording, and he'll get home and he will still be editing shit while we're already like winding up and going to sleep. Then he'll be the first one to wake up, and he was already working on stuff before we hit the studio. So this man is a machine, dude.
That's cool, man. So he was really pushing you guys in the studio and feeding that energy, huh?
Oh hell yeah, man. And that's the thing. Not only in the studio, but what I really appreciated that he took the time outside before we even got into the studio. He would jump on phone calls with all of us as a band, and even us as individuals, who just kind of talk to us and give us guidance, and not just only about music, just about life and everything in general. So he really just helped develop. Yeah, he helped develop the band.
That's awesome.
He's more than a freaking producer and everything, man. Like, he called me when my mom passed away. Like, like he's been there, like for everything. We call each other for Christmas,
Yeah, man. I think that's definitely an important thing that not a lot of people realize. But like, I know a lot of this is a business, but at the same time, you do have to be close with the people that you're working with, and be able to sort of have like a family vibe, like, because that's the best way. That's the best way for it to work. Man.
Yeah, it's more comfortable. It's you get a better result too.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. That's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons why
he also feels invested in the band as well, right? With all the work and development he's put into this project, he feels he's a part of it, and he's the fifth member in a way.
Hell yeah. That's one of the reasons why I like doing these interviews, man, with fucking some of the bands that I'm working with, man, and I was fucking excited as hell whenever EMG hit me up about this project, man, because I was like, fuck yeah, dude, hell yeah, man. But
man, we appreciate you guys, man.
We see you're doing a great job. We're super happy, man, and we'll continue to work with you, man.
Hey, man, you guys are bringing the fucking goods, man. I'm just pushing it out there.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. We appreciate that.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
So, well, tell us about EMG, man. How did you guys get hooked up with them, and how's that been so far?
Well, it's just from the scene, we saw just different, different people, and just in general, just saw that they were working hard. So reached out and got in contact with them, and we started, just started working together from then on, and it's been good, man. They've been taking care of us, and no complaints. They're kicking ass. They're intense about what they're doing, and they're passionate about the music, and that's what we care about. That it's all about the music for us. At the end of the day, getting that message out there, getting the songs out there, and they understood it and went with it 100%. So we appreciate them backing us up and helping us, get this out there to everybody.
Hell yeah, man. Well, tell us about this collaboration that you have with, you got Evan Seinfeld on Crown.
I don't know who wants to tell the story, but it's kind of a long story, but it's fun. You go for it, Jerry, or you go for it, Jim? Or...
Where should we start? We got to keep that one short, man. We shorten that story down.
Keep that one short. Okay. Well, you go for it.
Well, let's just say this. Like Joel said, we when we were recording the record, we had rented a house. Billy was staying with us the whole time. He was out here. He came out to us from LA for 2 weeks. Stayed the whole time, and we were doing a lot of long hours. And so at the time, Biohazard was not reunited yet. We were actually, again, I'm trying to keep a long story short here, but we were actually there in the house, in the room even, when that first phone call was made. Billy called Evan and said, "Hey man, let's this is a project I'm working on with these guys. Would you be interested in possibly, in contributing some vocals to a song? Let me send it to you and see what you think." And that was the first real meaningful contact that those guys have had in, almost 15 years.
Yeah.
And the fact that Evan was, that kind of opened a whole new door for them. And so we sent him, Billy sent him a first draft cut of the song, and he's like, "Hey, what do you think about putting some vocals on this section?" And they went back and forth, and they worked it out, and of course that's you hear the result there. But so Evan was pulled into the project, on the surface, but really it was kind of an olive branch, right? Like Billy was reaching out to Evan saying, we need to get Biohazard back together. I want to hear how it was the first time on our track, Crown, that Billy and Evan had sung together on any song in 15 years. And it was the first time we heard them together in that long, and that was what the spark that created, or that got them back together, that brought Biohazard back together. And it was just such an awesome thing to witness. It was such a rebirth to see just these two guys that have been going for so long, but we're apart for so long, to come back together, and for us to be the conduit for that to happen was just awesome, man. It was just so cool to see, and the fact that when you hear Crown, you're hearing those guys together for the first time in 15 years. Before the new Biohazard record came out, the one that's out now, before they were even reunited again, that's the first song you heard with them together. It was just an awesome thing, man.
Dude, that's fucking huge, man.
Man.
Seriously.
It was nice because it led up while I guess the whole us all staying in the house together.
Hold for a minute. I'll try to push him in a minute, okay?
All good.
All right.
So, since we're all staying together, he kind of saw that, we're all friends, we're all brothers, man. We love each other, we're hanging out and having a good old time. So I think just the whole process of him seeing us hanging out at the house after studio time and jamming in the studio and just enjoying the time there, he just kept on little reminiscing, and he was just like, "Damn, me and Biohazard used to do that shit." And we'll be jamming out and little parts in the song I was doing if I was live. There's no crowd there, but I was just singing on the mic if I was live, trying to get the people pumped up. And he's like, "Fuck, Biohazard used to do that shit even in the studio to get us pumped up." So he saw little things that kind of reminded him and reignited that spark. And he at one point I was like, why am I not playing with my brothers? He kind of saw that we were playing with our brothers, and he's like, why am I? It just kind of like we saw the click moment of we're wasting time, and they saw, and for them to have Crown as a song and really get to play together again, it really was the first time that not only singing together, but working together and getting over all the bullshit and whatever happened, and just saying, hey man, the power of music and that brotherhood is more important than whatever bullshit we went through or whatever the hell happened. But the power of music is stronger than that, and the message that they needed to put out as well. And look what we have now. We have a beautiful fucking record from Biohazard that sparked from that, and it's amazing, to see them playing again. And just have said, hey, if we did just one spark under that to make that happen and ignite a flame, man, it's awesome, It really is, and to have them both on it was great. We can't complain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like but honestly, dude, like, how does that make you feel? Like, from a fan's perspective. Not only is it cool that you're in the studio, obviously, with them working on this, but what you guys were doing motivated them to get back together and do what they do. Like, that's...
Well, yeah, man. It's some surreal shit, man. Like,
It goes back to the full circle, man. They, in the 90s, they've made us want to do music and do stuff. And look, to come around full circle and be like, damn, the guys that, at the end of the day, that they inspired to do music and want to have those gang vocals and that same power that Biohazard had, just reignited the flame again. So at the end of the day, it was just a full circle. They inspired us, and we were able to inspire them again to reunite and do stuff. So it's awesome, man. It really is.
Yeah, I wonder how often that sort of thing kind of happens, in like not necessarily directly like that, but like how many times these older bands that have been around for a long time, maybe they're kicking back, but then all of a sudden they hear these younger bands coming out and they're doing sort of a similar thing and they're feeling it and they're like, you know what? We should fucking get back out there and do that too, man. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I bet it happens a lot, man. It's cool.
I hope so, man, because it's an honor. It's an honor to inspire somebody who's being an OG, like, to do it again.
Absolutely.
Great, and the original lineup, because they were all doing, he has Power Flow, which is awesome. I love Power Flow. I love all the other projects. He has Billy Bio. Those songs from Billy Bio, fucking amazing.
I got the cheers out of that, don't worry.
But, I don't want to say it's nothing like the original lineup, but there's just a certain connection, when you are playing with, these guys that they spent so many years together doing music and writing music and touring the world, they connected on another level as brothers, as friends, so for them to get back together and reunite, it was awesome. And having them play the song with us, it's an honor, man. It really is.
Totally.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I'll need to get Billy on the show at some point so I can talk to him about it and get his perspective of it too, man. That would be cool too. But But I do want to ask you guys, like, about you guys. As far as your message, like, what are you trying to send to the world, man? I kind of feel like I understand a little bit just based on what I'm seeing on the surface, but what is it that maybe people don't understand right off the bat? Like, what are you trying to say?
Man, if I could sum it up in one word, I would tell you it would be unity. To unify the people and not divide them, and just power back to the people.
Yeah.
Fuck the system. Fuck all that shit. Kind of bring it back to the people. At the end of the day, I think that's pretty much what we're trying to do, and exposing, all the corruption, all the stuff that's going on, things that people don't want to talk about. We put it out there, but at the end, the message is that we all rise as one. And we need to remember that divided, there's too much division right now. There's also, to bring up stuff, there's also too much depression right now, man. And people, back in our day, there was a lot of songs about, suicide, and this was a lot of depression and stuff. And we try to write songs that empower people to continue, not to end, to keep fighting forward. Life is shitty. Life is tough. It's a lot of ups and downs. Things are never going to go your way. And you have to fight through and push through. So We All Rise is also about that. It's just about kind of saying, hey, everything's against me. Nothing's going my way, but I'm going to keep going because tomorrow's fucking another day, and I'm going to keep fighting. So that's something we want people to take away from it, that, we want people to rise up, and not just one person, not just the fifth, we want the people to rise up as one, everybody. There's room for all of us. It's like, there has to be one person is doing good. No, man, everybody come up together, everybody do it, And just that, we kind of want to give a positive message, and in the time that it's a kind of a negative world right now, and they're trying to separate everyone and make people are going through a lot of stuff. So we kind of want to make that people know that they could fight for another day and just continue.
Yeah. When you look at the world today, man, the way that everything is right now, man, everything is so fucking divided. Everybody's pissed off. Everybody's fucking going crazy and everything, and it's like, the system that's doing that is just sitting there fucking laughing the whole time, man, fucking running to the bank.
Right.
And it's
they're exactly running to the bank, man, and collecting that money off of our division, off of all our crap.
Yeah, it's
and we have to remember that the power is to the people. We will always be more than the government, than the army, than whatever you want to put. It's like the people will always be more. And we need to just freaking unify all of us, man, and just realize that we're all in the same boat, we're all in the same shit together, and, just push through, man. And everybody goes through stuff, and we're going to make it happen.
That's the only thing that's fucking stopping everything from changing, man, is the fact that everybody just needs to fucking band together and say enough is enough, man, and stop this fucking shit, man. Because if everybody did, really fucking unite like that, man, and just say, we ain't taking this fucking shit no more, man. There's nothing they could do, man. Like, they're totally outnumbered, man.
Totally outnumbered, man. And at the end of the day, even though everybody has different views and different stuff, I truly feel that we all want the same thing at the end of the day. At the end of the day, everybody just wants some peace, a place to live, a place that you could be comfortable in, food, water, the natural stuff, man. At the end of the day, the debate, it's basic. And I think we complicate it with all the bullshit of politics and this and that, and it just gets, filtered and filtered and filtered again and washed out into something that just isn't real, when it's just simple. We all want the same thing. We just want a place for our kids to be happy and, live a good life, man.
Yeah, man. When I go to the gas station or I go to the grocery store, I'm thinking, and I'm looking at everything, I'm thinking, I don't care, like, what side anybody's on, man, or what your personal fucking views are, man. There's no fucking way you're not fucking upset about this. Like, we can all fucking agree this fucking sucks. Like, that's not cool, man. That should be the fucking the line in the sand right there. At least, man. At least,
Right, I was gonna say we can disagree on some stuff, but we can all agree the gas prices are fucked up.
Yeah, man.
It kind of went down right now, but not enough.
It went down, but then it went back up.
No shit, I didn't see that part. Oh my god.
It's just, it's fucking, you can't, you never know, man. But
that's a whole other monopoly.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy a bicycle.
Right? I've been seeing a lot of people more and more fucking riding around on those little those electric fucking bikes, man.
Electric bicycles, right?
Yeah. What the fuck,
or go back old school, man, and buy myself a horse. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Feed him some hay and that's it.
That's it. Still gotta feed that motherfucker.
They'll find a way to tax that shit too, man.
That's right.
Motherfuckers.
They'll put a sun pass on your fucking horse.
Yeah, man.
Well, for you know what, for the gearheads out there, man, because something I always like to ask everybody, what kind of stuff are you guys using in the studio to get these sounds, man? What kind of amps, pedals, fucking, shit like that, man? Can you tell us about that?
What is that we like?
Well, so right, yeah. In the studio sound was that was an interesting experience on the guitar side. Anyway, I mean, it was good. We had a couple different setups actually that we used. On the guitar amps, it was mainly revolved around two main things. We used we're big into the EVH 5153s.
Yes.
That was one of the main sounds, of course, with the 606 tubes. That thing was just screaming. And then we also used a Mesa Badlander. And then we had a couple different cabinets. We had some vintage 30s in a Marshall, and we had a couple other ones. So yeah, it was and what you actually hear on the record is actually a blend of 2, sometimes 3 different amp sounds blended together. So it's but it revolved around the EVH and the Mesa Badlander. So,
and as far as bass, it was all Ampeg, and the bass actually was a bass I got from like a little store that closed down. It was Ibanez Mockingbird from 1984 that had a freaking preamp on that shit that sounded gnarly.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, man. Yeah, dude, you can't fuck with those fucking 5150s and then the Ampegs for bass, man. Like it's a perfect fucking match right there, man.
Well, it's funny because the first real amp I ever bought when I was in high school was the original 5150 from Peavey, and I still have it to this day, and I still use it, the original first one. And so to go back now with these 5153s now, they're just ridiculous, man. It's amazing. There's this we use a 50 amp head in the studio, and a 50 amps. You wouldn't think, man, or 50 watts. You wouldn't think that thing would scream like it does, but it's unreal, the power that thing has.
Oh yeah, man. And the other thing was that too. I'm glad you guys brought up the gear stuff because this wasn't plugins. We actually when we went into this record, we went into the idea of that we don't want these digital plugins. We don't want this crap. We want real amps.
We don't want drum replacements.
We want everything mic'd up. Exactly that. All the drums, they're live drums. The drummer's playing the whole time. It's all mic'd up. It's not a whole bunch of triggers and all this stuff. And for the guitars, it's not a whole bunch of processors stuff. It's what we want. We wanted that raw, real sound, and the old school vibe of it too. And even the whole recording, we took it in that sense of that it was, we want to mic everything up. We want real sound. We don't want bullshit. Not shitting on anybody who uses all that stuff. It was just, for us, we really wanted that to be part of the sound, that real sound, that we wanted to use equipment. We wanted that, that Ampeg sound.
Yeah.
We really dug into that and took a lot of time, man, for these guys to work on all that stuff.
Exactly. So everything you're hearing on the record is mic'd up drums, mic'd up real drums, mic'd up guitar cabinets, mic'd up bass cabinets. There's no processing in anything. Yep, it's all raw stuff, real stuff, old school style.
Because a lot of places where they record the bass on direct box, and that's it. No, I actually plugged into my amp. I cranked it the fuck up. I made those freaking speakers. They freaking almost blow, but that's the sound that we're getting,
Hell yeah, man!
Like,
it gets a certain sound through, man. Like it's just something you can't replicate that shit digitally,
Right. At the end of the day, I guess we wanted it to be an organic album. We didn't want it to feel digitalized. Mm-hmm. We wanted it to feel real. And also one of those, we kind of did go back to the old school mentality of writing a record. One of the other stuff that we implemented as well was if we fucked up on a part, we didn't cut and paste either. We would redo the whole song.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Like back in the day. It's like, you fucked up? Oh, sorry, bro. There's no cut and paste. It's reel to reel. But I got to cut and paste it. It's gonna take forever. It's like, redo the song, redo it, do it again.
Yeah.
You know, so we went for that old school mentality of being in the studio.
Don't forget about tuning.
That's right. And tuning like crazy, because it was that. It wasn't, digitalized. It was organic equipment,
Well, and that actually gets back to again, Billy's work ethic in the studio, because it's so easy when you're sitting there with Pro Tools or whatever to hey, if you got 2 verses and 2 choruses, just play the verse once and then we'll just cut and paste for the rest of the song. We just reuse the same chorus over and over. Just literally cut and paste in Pro Tools. And it's so easy to do that. And get out of the studio faster, right? But he would not allow anything like that. We didn't want to do it in the first place, but he wouldn't even allow it. He said, look, you got 2 choruses to play, you're going to play it twice. And it's just, it's going to be different each time, slight differences. It's just things like that just kept the whole experience raw.
And also being as experienced as he is, like, there were parts, for example, when we were like recording, right? Like, this part is awesome. We're gonna play it 8 times. Nah, man, only 4 times. I was like, what? But that part is fucking badass. We love it. It's like, well, if somebody likes it, they will play it again. And we're like, bro, and made our songs, like way more consistent, more,
Yeah, tight.
Tight, man. But going back to what Jim was saying, it's like, the reason we did it. Yeah, if we made a mistake, we kept going, and that was one of the stuff that Billy put into us. Also, it's like those little imperfections, or it's just slightly different, is what really makes the song real. It's not a machine. It's not AI. Mm-hmm. It's not cut and paste.
Yeah,
it's like if the guitar player played a little bit fast, or the drummer just sped up a little bit more, just a second more, because in that second he felt more power. That's the beauty of music. It's not. Doesn't have to be so square and perfect. We kind of, I'm not saying there's imperfections in it, but it's human. It's not exact.
It's not machine. It's not
a razor.
Yeah.
It's not a razor sharp. It's real. It's emotions. It's raw emotions. It's us really feeling the song and worrying about the music and the song, not cut and pasting and exactly what Jim said. Don't. Oh, you did it one time. Great, perfect. It goes 8 times. Put it 8 times. No, play it 8 times, because there's little things in there that people are going to connect with and be like, damn, he just slid a little bit more. He did a little extra tongue. Something extra that just really you connect with, and damn, that little thing in there.
Or he picked up instead of picking down on that one note. Shit like that.
Yeah.
It makes it real.
Man, and something else, I was just thinking about a minute ago, when you mentioned the EVH 5150, man, it makes me think about it. I wonder sometimes, Eddie Van Halen, what he would fucking think if he knew now, how many fucking bands, how fucking far that fucking amp has gone. It's such a huge part of our fucking genre, it really is. Mm-hmm. But it's
yes, it is.
I don't think that, because he didn't use that much gain, and if you listen, if you check out a lot of his interviews from back in the day, he was always giving out false information. He was always telling people no, I use this and I do this and that. He was always trying to fuck people up because he didn't want to give out all of his secrets. So part of me wonders, when he was helping them create that amp, why would he give it that much fucking gain? Maybe he thought it was funny. He was I'm just gonna fucking make it insane amounts so that nobody will be able to fucking copy what I'm doing. But in return, it became this fucking staple that so many fucking extreme bands go to, because it fucking does what we like. It goes to that extreme level. But it's I
guess it goes to 11.
Yeah,
it goes past 11, bro.
This amp is different because it goes to 11. Just that little more. You just need. All the other amps go to 10, but this one goes to 11.
I wouldn't doubt it, man.
The irony in that,
Oh,
No,
yeah.
you're absolutely right, man. I you know, I've always been a massive Eddie fan, and you know, I've again still have my original 5150, and it's, you know, it's just an incredible amp, and again, you see it almost on you know, on almost every stage now. It's ridiculous what it's, the influence that it's had, and not just the current one, but all the way back to the original one. It's just the influence it's had on our genre is incredible, man.
Yeah.
Even more so than Marshall. You know?
Yeah, doing the Tennessee Metal Devastation Music Fest here that we do, man. I can't tell you how many different bands have come up there with different iterations of the 5150. You know, whether it's the EVH or the PV or whatever, the Iconic, all of them, man. Like they all, there's so many of them that I see and I hear, and they all sound fucking amazing. They all do it, man.
Yeah.
They all do the job, man.
No, and now that you mentioned that, by the way, since we're talking to you right now, we would love to fucking play at the fest, man.
Hell yeah, man. Fucking send us in your submission, man. We'll put you in the fucking
Hey, man.
in the pool.
You know?
Hell yeah, man. So let me ask you guys, what else do you have coming up next for people out there, man? Is there anything else you want to let people know?
Well, the videos, a lot of the videos are coming up. They're on our YouTube, and they're available on Vivo. You could also get it on iTunes, iMusic.
Apple Music.
Yeah.
And where's the best place for people to go to find out everything about you guys? Like,
I would say the website, just weallrisemusic.com, because at the bottom it just has all the links to whatever you want to use most, you know.
Yeah.
At the bottom you choose there, we have all the links there. If you want to use YouTube, if you want to use Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and they're able to click there, and that's where we're going to be updating all that stuff at.
Yeah.
hell yeah. And
But you know, like if anybody wants to reach us, like the easiest way will be, you know, like what everybody uses, TikTok or Instagram, you know.
yeah.
So
Right.
And so you get And so you guys are pretty approachable, like, you know, for other magazines, radio stations out there that are listening to this. If they want to reach out to you guys and do an interview or anything like that, they just need to hit you up on your socials and
just
stuff
hit
like
us
that.
up, man. We love to tell our little stories, and you know, and meet new people and talk to people everywhere, you know. So it's always very, very interesting for us to answer interviews and all kinds of stuff, man, and meet new people, you know.
Hell yeah.
At the end of the day, we want to share our story, our experiences with everyone, and we also want to hear what everybody has to say, man. You know, that's the bottom line of the music. It's like we all rise. We want everybody to be a part of it and just move forward.
Yeah.
Move
also,
up.
like, if somebody hears or listens to our music, hit us up, tell us which is your favorite song, what do you like, or stuff like that, you know.
Hell yeah.
We are down to answer. We answer everybody, man.
Right. Or even when you don't like, you know what I mean? Like I always tell people, hey, it's a free country, man. You know, whatever you like or whatever you don't like, you know, just hit it up and put it out there.
We like to hear about it, man. You know.
Fuck yeah.
We don't hold grudges if you're gonna say something that we don't, you know, we're different than, or we, you know, it's cool, man. We're cool, like we're approachable.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, well, guys, I'm about out of time. Is there anything? Well, actually, before I let you go, can I get you to make us a station tag?
All right.
Whenever you're ready, say something like, this is We All Rise, and you are listening to Metal Devastation Radio.
Alrighty.
We'll let Jerry take this one.
Yeah, Jerry will take this one. Yeah.
Well, let me clear my throat. This is We All Rise, and you're listening to Metal Devastation!
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's what's up, my brother.
It's fucking badass, man. Hell yeah, dude. That one's definitely gonna be saved, man. Well, dudes,
Hopefully I didn't redline you guys too much.
hey, man. No, that's perfect, man. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to talk to us. I really appreciate it. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna blast some more We All Rise for these motherfuckers so they go crazy. All right.
All right.
Oh, yeah, brother.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you
man.
for having us, man.
Thank you so much, brother. We appreciate you.
Thank you, guys, man. We'll talk soon.
All
All
right,
right.
guys.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah. Later. There you have it, folks. We All Rise live on the Zach Moonshine Show with Metal Devastation motherfucking radio. Like I said earlier, put your speakers in your windows, put them in your front lawns, put them in your neighbor's driveway. Do whatever you got to do, man. If you don't see U-Haul trucks everywhere tomorrow, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? Crank it the fuck up loud as a fuck.